So this build is what I call the Godrunner. This one kinda puts other builds to shame, cause you can just run around and quick hack whole base to the ground. Or you literally despawn MaxTac operators before they even hit the ground. There are two variants of this build which I found useful, and I will be showing you how to build towards them here. So just sit back and relax, cause by the end of this video you will be clapping some MaxTacs as well. To start, let's go to the character skill tree. Since this is a Netrunner build, most of your points are going to be spent on the intelligence attribute. Put 20 points in it and unlock the perks as you see here. Most of these perks are for RAM capacity, RAM recovery, quick hack costs and upload speed. These perks here unlock and upgrade the ability to queue quick hacks. And this perk over here unlocks the overclock mode. Keep in mind that overclocking is a big factor in this build. If you're planning on having a stealthy approach to fights, I wouldn't recommend unlocking the spillover perk, since it can spread quick hacks to nearby targets. We're not gonna need any of the smart weapon perks here, since this build mostly revolves around quick hacks and silenced pistols. In the cool attribute tab, we are going to use our perk points on movement speed, crouch sprinting and optical camo. For technical ability, you should spend your points on Cyberware stat modifiers and health item buffs. In the reflexes tab, again we are going to unlock movement speed and dashing buff perks. Since we don't have much armor, creating space and jumping in and out of the fight is crucial. As our main focus is on quick hacks and silenced pistol variant of this build, we are going to leave perks related to blades here alone. We will circle back to them later on. And finally, for body attributes, spend your points on health regen down here and the adrenaline rush perks over here. Now let's go over to Cyberware. First, I've got to mention that if you see any iconic Cyberware here, they can be purchased at any of the Reaper docks in Dogtown. The two that we are using here are must-haves in this build, so you better be saving up. And also try to upgrade everything to the max level. In this build we are using the Tetratonic Rippler Cyber deck. As you can see, it gives us a pretty good amount of quick hack damage buff and RAM capacity. Also, while in overclock mode, it uploads reboot optics and weapon glitch automatically to nearby targets. It's all about RAM capacity and RAM recovery rate here, so we are going to use RAM reallocator and X-Disk, which gives us just that. We are going to pair them with Cybersematic optimizer, giving us a 100% crit chance, which is highly effective against the high level enemies like MaxTac. You can use monowire on your arms, since it scales pretty well with intelligence and gives us bonus quick hack damage and RAM regen. For skeleton we are going to use Phoenix and RAM recoup for some extra RAM capacity and RAM recovery, paired with Parabellum, which gives us some much needed armor. This leaves us with little room for more armor, so we get the optical camo here and adrenaline converter on our nervous system for extra movement speed. These two are going to help you with those quick stealthy kills. We are also going to get Biomonitor for automatic healing and Heal on Kill for more health regen. If you still have some cyber capacity left, feel free to fill the remaining slots with whatever you think works best for you. Now I've got to mention that there is a perk in the technical ability attribute named after the well-known Cyberpunk series Edgerunners. This perk gives us an extra 50 Cyberware capacity, but it comes at a cost. It reduces max health by 0.5% for each extra point that we use. It also gives us a pretty good chance of enabling the Fury mode, which on its own gives crit chance and crit damage buffs. And look, this perk definitely improves the build, but I don't really think it's needed here. It'd be just overkill at this point, and trust me, you would be just fine without it. So with that said, let's go over to quick hacks. In order to upload our quick hacks as fast and as clean as possible in combat, we are going to add them in this sequence: Cripple Movement, Synapse Burnout, Short Circuit and Tier 4 Memory Wipe. This is the ultimate combo for quick kills with zero traceability. In addition, we can use Weapon Glitch on the monowire. Since weapons are not that important, any decent pistol will work here. But if there were one gun that fit this build the best, it'd be Her Majesty, the gun that Alex gives us in Phantom Liberty. It's very powerful, comes pre-silence and is a one-shot headshot. If that's not enough, It gets buffed while optical camo is active, which coincidentally we are using here. Finally, you have a kick-ass Netrunner build that can clear a whole platoon of NCPD without even hitting the ground. However, if you're like me, this build would become boring pretty fast. So let's spice things up by adding a Katana. To make the Katana work, we are going to need to spend a few more perk points on our reflexes. Go ahead and get these perk points right here, which I mentioned earlier. They unlock blocking, deflection, and finisher abilities for your blades. Now let's go to Cyberware. First, get rid of optical camo, then bulk up on armor. I recommend subdermal armor and carapace. Then add reflex tuner to your nervous system. For quick hacks, let's forget about memory wipe since we are going all out here. Most of your damage is going to come from short circuit and synapse burnout. Just make sure to add them in this sequence so that you can upload them as fast as possible. Feel free to add whatever you think works best with them. And as for the katana of choice, I'm using a Rata. It has great damage, decent attack speed, and the cool factor is off the charts. Now you can use your cyber magic while making some heads fly in serious style. One thing I have to mention is that I encountered a weird bug while testing this build. My HP was draining even though I wasn't taking any damage. So I looked it up and it seems to be caused by this perk over here, feedback loop. Apparently the problem can be solved by simply refunding it. I couldn't get the bug to happen again and test this, but I thought it might help in case you encounter it.
Now you'll do whatever I want, huh? Why don't you just subscribe?